This is a talk on equanimity, and I want to talk about this quality, this virtue, as a way that it can support us letting go of worry or anxiety, letting go of ideas that we are the sole responsibility of having to fix things that are very big. And I want to start with a little bit of a story about my own experience. You know, I come into this world and I didn't know or understand what equanimity was. I had no basis of it in my own personality structure. And I saw myself as being bright and being able to do a bunch of stuff and having a big energy, and equanimity was not part of my experience. But I spent time in nature places, in wilderness. And one of the ways in which I have been able to learn about equanimity is through rocks, through coming into an understanding of geological time. And so living in Colorado, I was right next to the Garden of the Gods. And there were rocks in that garden that were 160 million years old. And it wasn't the thought of how old they were. It was the feeling of being nestled up in them, of just letting my mind and body equilibrate according to their time frame. And so when I would stop thinking about all the stuff that was on my plate that I needed to do or attend to, or the things that I was anxious about or worried about, or the things that had been impactful to me, not through will, but through relaxing into what I was experiencing near those rocks. Just letting myself rest and be supported by the rocks. Then what I experienced was a perspective of time that was so much bigger than my own personal life experience would allow me to know. And in that opening up to something that was much bigger, much more vast than my own personal life experience could know, I began to feel what equanimity might feel like. This big, huge perspective that doesn't lose sight of what's going on in the immediate, but holds it in perspective with something that's been going on in a much bigger way. And so equanimity is an even-mindedness that is able to look at things and not get destabilized or dysregulated or shaken up because of the perspective. Now, one of the near enemies of equanimity is a kind of dullness. Well, there's not a sharpness. And the far enemy, the opposite of equanimity, is agitation. So the near enemy is like a disinterest. It looks a little bit like equanimity, but really what it is not being present. And the opposite of equanimity is being agitated, being ruffled, being destabilized, dysregulated, confused, upset, having a tantrum. All things that I'm very capable of doing. So drama queen is the opposite of equanimity. Something that I also have been fabulous at doing for much of my life. And so learning how to be present with something without allowing it to go into drama. And without putting a cap on it so that we're not feeling, but not letting it move into drama. Now, in a Buddhist path of the various different qualities of the divine heart, loving kindness and compassion and joy and equanimity, some people say that equanimity is a closer approximation to what the awakened mind is like, where it just simply is not shaken by what is going on in this world. And one of the things that we can know is that the more stable we are in what does not shake, the more effective we can be in being in a world where there's tremendous amount of reason to shake, with so much change and shifting going on, so many things that are happening that are genuinely concerning. And so one of the real values of equanimity is it gives us tremendous capacity. And that capacity can be used for our own benefit, for our communities, and for the world.